Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Pixel by Netsters. Today, I have my esteemed colleagues with me, Mr. DJ and Maddie,
Hello.
and we're going to be talking about some good stuff that we started back in 2012, actually. The reason that it's more relevant is because there are a lot of subjects about advertising that revolves around fraud and a lot of brands, advertisers, clients that we have worked in the past and so forth, along with many published articles, have shown indications that people are not happy with the budget advertising costs, the fraud, the inflated numbers, inaccuracies, and many other things that primarily are blamed to a couple of major suppliers. So in that respect, years ago, when we looked at advertising, especially into our real-time settings, the real WebRTC was not new, or it was practically coming from 2010 to 2012 to 2 years of birth, and getting into a realization that we were not even ready, or market is not even ready, which is WebRTC. So we decided to apply the knowledge of what we had learned throughout the years working with different ad agencies and brands around the globe, both in the US and Europe, and build that into obviously our interactive platforms. And those days we were using mostly Adobe Flash and Flash media servers and streaming and technologies because they were the dominant forces of the market. And as HTML5 and WebRTC's birth was flourishing and coming together, we wanted to really be ahead of the curve. And now, 6 years later, we are revisiting a topic that it was very dear to us at that time. And now we are sharing with you because that also indicates the vision of how our company has matured itself, reaching to the needs of the market and allowing them to create different solutions and services. So one of the side line is about Viper Watch because I have it on the screen in here. So I wanted to mention to you that we are progressively working on Viper Watch in here. It's really an exciting product that we feel it will be suitable to make it like a Dick Tracy, a phone where our technology for Pixel will be implemented as a video chat, video conferencing into the phone, along with being an Android 6 phone that you can use it with your 4G cell, SIM cards, or on your Wi-Fi, or you're connected to your devices through Bluetooth. So obviously these are going to be ready for Christmas orders. For those of you who are interested, you can visit viperwatch.com/buy and look into those for the purchase. But along with that, let's go to our screencast mode. And in our screencast, we are going to be talking about peer-to-peer advertising. One of the things that it was extremely important to us was that we as human, no matter where we live, we spend about 24 hours. We have 24 hours, whether you're in Asia, in Europe, in Australia, America, Latin America. So we decided to use that as a measure that we all have 24 hours. As human, we like certain information and we filter certain information. Those information also is presented to us from an advertisers. So the brands that we like, we welcome their information, and the brands we do not like, we filter them. So this has been primarily the process of advertising, delivering content, and so forth. And then obviously reaching out through so many clicks or so many impressions or CPM, CPC, different variations and format. One of the ways that we looked at this issue was peer-to-peer advertising, which is really the foundation of social media, also enables one to build a trust factor. With the trust factor, then recommendations come to place. And that is how social medias have built all of their ratings, services, and everything else. But we wanted to narrow it down to a closer, what we call vicinity. So we deployed it into what we call digital media room. So these rooms that you're actually seeing as digital media room provides for promo advertisers a way to build loyalty card, which we call it for interactive social media. It allows consumers and businesses connect their supply chain and their consumers, their buyers, directly to them. This starts actually with what we call taking ambassadors and converting them into influencers. So if in this room a brand was sponsored by a purchase, which you will see an example of it, then you will see that how these pieces can come together. We believe that referral matters in business. We have been a testimonial company that we have earned our business in the last 18 years through referrals. And we understand a lot of aspects because we work with the major brands around the globe. So we understand shopping matters. And also for many brands, loyalty matters. And that's why many companies, they provide loyalty services, programs that it accommodates you with that. The best one known in the marketplace actually is for the airlines. If you are a frequent traveler, you can appreciate and understand that you value your points. You don't want to give out your air miles and you want to accumulate that. So that is one of the things that you treasure because that gives you perks, privileges, and advantages. So these loyalties have been structured to different methodologies. We wanted to introduce you to what we call ICPT, which is interactive cost per time. And one of the ways that we felt is loyalty means repeat buy. Loyalty comes with time. And so we looked at time as that 24-hour factor. We looked at eyeball as really point of what real advertisers are looking for. And we looked at the content that they share, whether it's a sponsored brand, it's an infomercial, it's an image, it's a picture, it's an animated GIF, or a video, or anything that they feel that it's relevant with their clients and consumers. So connecting brand to loyalty cards was basically building this room for that service. And ultimately, having an interactive social digital media room like you see in here, that's what we call DMR, allows to have real-time engagement that you have seen in similar messaging services such as WeChat and so forth, that they have expanded and they brought like Instagram, the text chat, the pictures, the voice, the video, and so forth, and building those as a gathering and engine to process for advertising. So interactive loyalty card in this kind of a process influences purchase, inspires new online viral with tied to purchase. And some of these examples that we will be sharing with you has been done in the past. So we take the liberty of using it as a use case. So the idea is rewarding your customers with time loyalty. And a time loyalty is that if supposedly you wanted to have interactive brand with your customers, assuming you're a brand, so you are residing in this area and your consumers are here and you are buying time in many ways to reach out to your customers and point and put your messages to them. That is real objective. So we felt rather than doing this, what we call trivial many, so you can reach out to many, which is really good actually. But ultimately you want to filter that down and bring it into a narrow factor of how much really did they spend with our brand? How much time? Did it really create a KPI or a call to action that it resulted into a sales? So we felt connecting promo advertising into social media with real-time and face-to-face guarantees few factors, okay? And these are fashion merchandisers that they stated these factors. With friends as best referral source, watching branded display online, and there is nothing like it. So these experiences gave indication that if we want to sell a product, let's say talk about the holiday season, like we are getting ready for many of our clients. And as we are working toward launch for the holiday season, sales becomes paramount. So sales growth is extremely important. So if we want to sell a gizmo or a gadget or a device or a service or a product, however you want to define it, both targeted to our consumers or to our businesses, obviously the first thing is to incentivize or create an incentive along with the campaign. These campaigns can be driven by loyalty cards, and these loyalty cards can be driven by a series of ACK code that delivers 3 factors to our brand managers or to our CMOs or to our clientele that they are utilizing these services. It guarantees eyeball because you cannot deny the people that they're watching in here. You cannot deny the time that they're spending because we measure that through a technology we built called Pixel. So from the point of inception to the point of exit, we manage those and we provide those statistics. And we obviously the content, the relevancy of the content, like in this case, we are making this presentation. So placing special offer as an incentive, putting digital billboard and display ads in these kind of rooms, and making customer brand gives us some of the examples of what we have done in the past, through our past technologies, where we were utilizing mostly platforms and technologies that we had built as what we call iSocial and Hexa2, founded on Adobe. So the general idea was, in this case, is when a friend meets with video, VoIP, and a text chat, they are engaged real-time face-to-face. The brand sits in front of them. This was an example that we launched in Mexico City for Nest Cafe and a brand called Dolce Gusto, where we were selling not only increasing the consumption, but also bringing engagement and viral marketing. So the idea was when somebody would buy a coffee machine and they would be able to buy either online or go to the store and redeem a coupon from these rooms, but they would invite their friends, and as they were sipping coffees and they would ask them where you got the room from, the answer would be, oh, I went and I got a coffee machine, or I got a cup of coffee, and I was awarded with this digital media room for my use. So this becomes a very good way connecting directly from the point of inception, the consumers, their behaviors, their analytics, and everything else back to the brand. Most brands, they already have this data already, but what they don't know how to harness it is bring it to real-time communications and use that as the foundation to analyze and provide the best service for the clientele or consumers. So in here, we have built series of features that it was built in as we had previously described in our digital media room presentation. So we are not going to bore you with that. But brands, for example, clienteles that they use these rooms to create infomercials or bring their buyers or subscribers or users and create testimonial, share those pictures, the video stream like we are doing in here right now with you, for their own constituents, and build that as a foundation. So this kind of suggestive idea really for brands becomes sponsorship, where content or sponsored content along with the sponsorship of brands can become pivotal. So while we are talking about this kind of subject, we also want to talk about how things can work in this situation with ICPT and social media. So the idea of the loyalty card is that every subscriber, upon a call to action, such as a purchase, registration, whatever that the brand wants them to do, voting, things like that, they receive a digital media room. This digital media room is clocked by minutes, and they can be extended or capped based upon a campaign. So for instance, you can give a client a 2-hour session, and that 2-hour session can be background and offered with a movie, a video, that it can be posted from there, and then you can have your brand in here. So let's say pizza is on us, and here is a free movie. Okay, so if you buy our pizza, you get the movie, and then you connect the two together and you deliver that. And what happens is now you build loyalty, because somebody who is eating the pizza obviously is going to connect to a social media and is going to invite to watch a friend's movie, and now they're sharing, and now that experience becomes unique, that you bring, again, referrals, virals to the brand and to the sale with the call to action in the bottom. So the time, the card, the customer, and so forth, we start with the pyramid of the customers from your own point. Okay, and that's really what it turns out to be. So we turn the customer into brand ambassador. These become the brand ambassadors, or should be rewarded. Okay, so you should give them this kind of room, because they follow you, they like you, they purchase. They are, one of the instruments from the consumer that you can utilize from an influence point of view. So they become the influencers. The influencers invite friends, and they create video recording of their own experiences and so forth, and they share that through social media with your brand. And now you can see from what we call rights management content to user-generated content, the brand can follow and grow this paradigm of advertising based on guaranteed 3 factors. These 3 factors are time, eyeball, and the content that you share again. So there is no cheating. There is no way of getting around it, because if you got eyeball in the room, you can't deny it. It's that simple. So the next item is obviously clients that we've done in the past, like bubble gummers and so forth. So you can see some of these examples of how you can make an event fun for children, for adults, for the brand, and then enjoy that. And obviously, we always push boundaries. That's what we like to do. So you can see one of the examples of our own pictures when we were doing series of brand and client experimentations, as we are showing to the clientele how things work and how it performs. But ultimately, when they see it, it becomes a believing, because you really cannot deny those 4 factors: the eyeball, the time spent, the content share, and the broadcasting. So with that, we want to thank you and give you a general idea that how click-to-video and Pixel delivers guaranteed ad view. And we want you to also understand that video chat is only part of our equation. It's not all of it. And that's one of the reasons these rooms are equipped with many capabilities and features, both on sidebars and on top, and branding and broadcasting and players and connected to the CDN and scalability. So our hope is, as we have exposed these services into IAB, Interactive Advertising Bureau, over the last few years, whereas they have been working in publishing and producing HTML5 and releases of 2.0 and so forth, this adaptation of real-time communications into advertising becomes pivotal. And our technology is designed that we can accommodate you with different set of ACK codes for different campaigns. For example, if a client needed to go into a different settings and have different experiences based on different region of the geo IP, we could easily adopt that. So if Southerners versus Northerners and West and East and so forth that we always deal with in geo IP markets, they have different cultural diversities. Skins, designs, layout, content, so forth can be customized, and then we can issue those numbers of ACK codes. Another way that you got to look at the ACK code is when you attend trade shows. Trade shows are always, you're in a busy collection of leads, meeting as many as people as you can, walking out with a lot of names, and then start following up. But the problem is equally the buyers that the other side, the exhibitors versus exhibitees that they are attending, they have the same agenda. So they walk out with the literatures, tons of them, including myself, that I have done that for decades. And then at the end of the day, when I come home, we all spread it over and they get more confused than ever. To create value differentiations, these kind of rooms becomes really a giveaway, where you can simply accommodate and all of a sudden give it as a gift card to a guest and an audience. So this one, for example, can follow with an ACK code, and then the ACK code can automatically register them And now your sales team, customer support, and so forth have a direct communication with the client, that they can establish point of entry, answer questions, and at their own pace, they can come to this room and click on the sidebars where you have placed content for them, and they can educate themselves. Example of this right now is we are working with Pearson, for example, for English teaching, which will be soon launched with one of our clients, Interactive Academy of Performing Arts. Classes are going to be offered very affordably for students all over the world, where they can learn both English, and we'll call American English, and English or British English with different funny accents. So we now make that available through World and through our PTLA partners. But one of the advantages are there's going to be open house classrooms like this available with sidebars where students from different languages can come in here and listen to the translation and vocabulary and some of the familiarities, and then later on, register and enjoy and get a certification. So this kind of things becomes extremely valuable, where you adopt the power of education, information, content, collaborations, and bring them into advertising board with the guaranteed factors that we just talked about. So that is my presentation. I hope you have any questions that you feel that is relevant. Please send it to us through our social media sites. We'll be more than happy to answer it for you. These projects that you see are actually been done in the past, like we have mentioned to you. And we are looking to do a host of new projects that will be actually, after production and so forth, will be released to the brands, that you will see more of this familiarity. So think of our digital media room as a way connected to your social media sites, and your social media sites allows you to broadcast yourself through these digital media rooms, not only like the way we are doing it, but also connecting your audiences individually to these rooms and broadcast your brand or share your content to these brands in different GeoIP, and manage that through tracking, analytics, and so forth, and understand more about the use behavior and analytics that really helps you to provide a better quality of service, as we are doing for our customers. So in short, I'd like to thank you for this week's agenda. This is ICPT, again, interactive cost per time, implemented into Pixel by Netsters. And it's available to those of you who wish to start campaigns, advertisings, branding, and feel free to reach to any of our valued partners, and they will be guiding you, assisting you, and helping you on small or large campaign projects. Thank you, and we'll see you next week at the same time for another episode of our presentations. Ciao.